Welcome back, family, to the IOA podcast, the space where healing is a homecoming and where we remember that wholeness was always ours. I am your host, Dr. Malika, and today's episode is titled The Mere Self Compassion and Internalized Oppression. So, I got a prop for us today, and it is my makeup mirror that I usually use. And as you can see, it is reflecting back what is in front of me. And the mirror is going to show us two things. It shows us who we are and who we've been told to be. I'm going to say that again. The mirror shows us two things: who we are and who we've been told to be. For many of us, especially as Black people or people of color, the reflection has not always been kind. We've absorbed messages about worth, beauty, belonging that were never ours to carry in the first place. Today, we will talk about what happens when those messages take root inside of us, how internalized oppression distorts our reflection, and how self compassion is the tool that clears the mirror for us. So I want you to take a deep breath. If you've been listening to the show long enough, you know this is where we start in order to cleanse the palate and set the stage for the healing journey that we are going to take in this episode. So inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale through the mouth for 6. Welcome back. And we're going to go a little bit deeper and we're going to talk about what the mirror shows. The mirror can either be one of two things: it can be a teacher or it can be a trap. When we stand before the mirror, we're not only looking at ourselves, but we're also seeing the stories that we've been told about who we are supposed to be. Think about yourself from childhood. Think about how we are taught to measure and view those images that we see. It could have been skin tone, it could have been your body type, it could have been the speech or the way you talk, or it could have been the achievement carrot that's often dangled in front of children. We learn early what is going to earn us approval, and we learn what is going to bring rejection. Those messages don't just magically disappear simply because we have grown older. What has happened over time is, if we have not dealt with that, what is true and what is a mirage, we internalize those things. They become quiet voices that say to us, you are not enough, or you need to prove your worth. What we call this in the field of psychology is internalized oppression. It's when the outside voice of systemic injustice or those who don't view us as valuable becomes our own inner critic. You are now internalizing what others have said you are supposed to be. It shows up every time we shrink our brilliance to make other people feel comfortable. When we are questioning our right to rest, when we are questioning our right to feel joy, we are showing this internalized oppression. When we see beauty in everyone else and everything else, but hesitate to claim it in ourselves, we are internalizing oppression. But here's the truth: the mirror's not the enemy. It's really just waiting for you to look at it with compassion instead of looking at it with critique. So, as we go out of this segment, I want you to think about this. Think about the messages that you have already internalized over time and identify the spaces that we're going to need to pull up those roots inside of you that exist. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the root of internalized depression. Hey, resilient ones, I want to personally invite you to join me in person for something that's really special to me. It's the Circle, and it's an Aya Wellness event. It is happening Saturday, November the 8th at the Body Bar in Inglewood, California, which happens to be my hometown. And it's going to be a beautiful afternoon of connection, conversation, and collective healing. We'll breathe together, we'll reflect together, and most importantly, we'll root together. We'll use guided Aya practices, journaling, small group dialogue, inspired by my book, Rooted in Resilience, A Journey Towards Collective Healing. And yes, many have been asking, how do I get in and what does the experience look like? There are tickets for every level of experience. General admission starts at $25. The book bundle will include your signed copy of Rooted in Resilience, that's $45. And the VIP experience is special because it comes with exclusive affirmation cards, guided meditation, reserved seating, and you will have an hour of personal time with me along with the other VIP clients. And we also have a level of community sponsors that is $100, which makes it possible for others to join who might not be able to otherwise. So if you've been listening to the Aya Way and thinking, I want to be in the room where this kind of healing happens, this is your moment. I want you to head on out quickly. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. I need you to head to bit.ly/the circle 2025 to save your seat. Come as you are, but leave more rooted, more connected, and more you. I can't wait to spend this time with you in November. Have a great rest of your day. Welcome back, family, to the episode. And we are going to dig a little bit deeper and we're going to talk about the root of internalized depression. To understand internalized oppression, we have to trace it back to the soil that it grew from. Systems of colonization and white supremacy didn't just steal our lands, it didn't just steal us as people. What it did was it also distorted the way we saw ourselves. When people are told for generation after generation that their language is inferior, that their skin is less beautiful, that their culture is backwards, that it's not refined, eventually that violence will seep into the inner parts of us. It now becomes the lens that we start to use on ourselves and each other. We start policing one another. We start deciding what kind of blackness or womanhood or what success is acceptable. It also starts to look at what allows us to choose what's an acceptable way to present ourselves to the world. That's how oppression sustains itself. It's not just through the laws, we know that that exists too. It's not just through the violence that happens against groups of people, but it's through the quiet belief that we hold that we must constantly earn our right to exist. You don't have to earn this space. The fact that you exist is valuable and precious and enough. And so our healing actually begins the moment we recognize that the belief for what it is, the belief that we have to earn the right to exist, is a lie. The lie that says you are broken. But the truth will say you are whole before they named you otherwise. So, what we are here to do together as a group is to dismantle this internalized oppression. We have to first practice radical compassion towards ourselves. The place that you need to begin with is healing your inner gaze. Heal how you see yourself. And when we begin to see ourselves in the light of what we were created to be, we will also see each other more clearly as well. Want to take a quick break. And now that we've talked about the roots of internalized depression, I want us to move into understanding and putting into action the practice of self compassion. We will be back in just a second. Welcome back. And before we get into this next segment, I got to do something really quick and shout out my baby Brianna, who is the creator of this t shirt that I have on, Jesus Plus Sneakers. The one thing that I'm big on is number one, not gatekeeping. And number two, I'm super big on pushing and propelling us forward, especially as a culture and all of us that are doing amazing things. This is her brand, Jesus Plus Sneakers, and it's something that started with just a vision and just a simple t-shirt and has expanded into a whole movement. And so I'm super proud to be able to say I've been around since the very inception of what she has been doing. And I constantly try to support, not just financially, but if I can give you a little plug to what she's doing, I want to do that as well. So I'll put in the show notes the link to her website if you want to purchase the t-shirt and support her. All right, so now let's move into talking about self-compassion. I know that self-compassion can come across as a buzzword. We've heard it. It's something that we hear on social media. It's something that is said in conversation, but it's not a buzzword. What it really is a spiritual and a psychological practice combined together. So, what is self-compassion? What does it mean? Self compassion means extending to yourself the same kindness that you would offer to someone else if they were in pain. It's not indulging in the pain that you're in, it's not wallowing in that place, but what it is, it's a form of maintenance. It's allowing ourselves to be able to heal spaces that have gone through a trauma. When we experience trauma, our brain often starts to confuse safety with silence. It tells us as a defense mechanism that if we suppress the emotion, we will be able to survive. But healing actually asks us to speak differently to ourselves. It asks us to put language and to deal with and face head on the things that are causing us pain. So, to interrupt that inner critic, that is speaking differently to yourself. That is responding to yourself with the truth. When I am dealing with my clients in the therapeutic relationship, I often have to remind them that you can't shame yourself into being whole. Oftentimes, we want to drudge up all the different things that we have done, the things that we're not proud of, the reasons that have propelled us to go into the therapeutic relationship, to do the work, to become a better version of ourselves. But by drudging those things up and feeling shame, it's not going to connect you to being whole. So, how do we get to a place where we begin practicing self compassion? It has to be small. You cannot eat the elephant in one bite, it has to be piece by piece. So, when the voice is telling you that you're behind, other people are further ahead in their life, what you have to respond to that message with is I'm on divine timing. I'm aligned with the timing that is meant for my life. When you make a mistake, instead of saying things like, I should have known better, why don't you say, I'm learning? And the learning process is something that is sacred. And when you look in the mirror, I want you to look beyond the surface. I want you to look in that mirror and say to yourself that you are the continuation of your ancestors' dreams. When you say this, I don't want you to feel like you're being arrogant. When you say this, I don't want you to feel as if you are dealing with imposter syndrome or you're presenting yourself to be something that you're not. What you're actually doing is you're aligning yourself. And that alignment goes a long way to healing and going to that place of wellness. We are going to take another break and we are going to get into our I pause meditation for this episode. We will be back in just a second. Welcome back, family. And if you can, I want you to close your eyes or if you cannot close your eyes, I want you to lower your gaze. I want you to imagine yourself standing before a mirror, not the one that's in your house. I want you to imagine yourself in front of a sacred mirror, and the mirror is framed in light. The mirror shows not what the world has told you, but it is reflecting back to you who you truly are. I want you to take a deep breath in. I want you to hold and release slowly. Now I want you to take a moment to place your hand over your heart. And I want you to whisper softly to yourself, I see you, I forgive you, and I'll speak to you with love from now on. I want you to feel how your body responds to that. Feel your body soften. The reflection that is looking back is not asking you for perfection. It is simply asking you for presence. So I want you to take one more deep breath. And on the inhale, I want you to embody I am enough. And on the exhale, I want you to embody I am whole. Take a pause and sit, and we will be back to talking about the healing of the collective gaze. Welcome back, and we are going to talk about healing our collective gaze. So, when we learn to see ourselves clearly, we will begin to see each other differently as well. And so that self compassion ripples outward, it shifts the collective gaze. If I can meet myself with grace, if I can have compassion on myself, I no longer have to compete or to compare. Some of what we're seeing manifested and reflected out is a competition and comparison that is happening because of the reflection that we are responding to in the mirror. I don't have to compete against you. You have a lane for you, I have a lane for me, and we can all collectively do amazing things in this world. That means that I can celebrate another person's shine without having to dim my own work in the process. There's room for all of us. What we like to call that is liberation work. It's very freeing when we no longer have to compete with what is going on with other people, but we all rise together. Internalized oppression, it thrives off of isolation. It loses its power, however, when we are working in community, when we uplift each other, when we compliment each other freely, when we correct systems that say only one of us or only one version of us can succeed. What we're doing is we're cleaning that collective mirror, and we are seeing things as they actually are. I think about my family members, I think about my students, I think about my clients, I even think about my sorors and friends. Each of us are learning to be better with speaking kindly to our reflection. What we are saying as we walk this journey and look in this mirror, we're each saying to ourselves, I am not my pain, but I am what survived the pain. That's the work of the Iowa. It's reminding us that healing is both individual and ancestral, but it's also personal and it's also political. So I want you to remember that we are not in competition. We are here to work together. And we are going to come back and we're going to have our closing reflections and our call to action for this episode. Be back in just a second. We are back and we are going to go into closing reflections and our call to action. So, as we close today, I want you to remember that compassion is not a weakness. It's reclamation. Loving yourself in a world that profits from your doubt, that profits from you not believing in yourself, that profits from you comparing yourself to others and competing is a revolutionary act. Each time you look in the mirror and you choose gentleness instead of judgment, you are doing the work of liberation. So this week, stand in front of your reflection, take one breath, say your name out loud, and then say, I am enough as I am. So I want you to carry this with you through the rest of this week. This is the affirmation. I am no longer at war with my reflection. I speak to myself as I would to someone I love, and I am both the mirror and the light that feels it. As always, make sure you know where you can find me. Listen to the IOA podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Remember, community is built by connecting to one another, and we do read and reflections on Substack. So visit me at theiowa.substack.com. And as always, get the book. If you don't have the book, purchase Rooted in Resilience. You can purchase it from my website, MalikaMBrown.com/store/P/Rooted in Resilience. And I want to thank you, as always, for joining me as we talked about the mirror and self compassion. May you see yourself with tenderness that your ancestors prayed you would remember. Bless you and have a great rest of your week.